Hello everyone, and welcome to the lecture on logging. Logging is a great way to understand what's happening in your code and in what order it's happening. So far we have used the print statement as a form of logging. Python's logging module makes it easy to create a record of custom messages that you write. To enable the logging module to display the log message on your screen, put the following at the top of your code. So import logging, that's the module, and then logging. From the logging module, there's a function called basic config, and then label is equal to logging.debug. Okay, format is equal to, let's format our string, sc time, we have string, and then label, we have label name, s, and let's also format our message, then we have s. Okay, so you don't have to worry about how this works. It's just a setup of how the basic config function. Okay, let's look at an example that will calculate factorial. Factorial means, let's say 3 factorial means 3 times 2 times 1. So that's 3 factorial. If I say 4 factorial, that means 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So if I say, so 4 factorial means 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, now let's write a function that will calculate factorial for us. So I have the def statement, and I'm going to call it factorial. Then I'll pass in an argument n. So total, let's start with 1, and then for I in range n plus 1. So I'm writing this function in a way that it will produce an error, and then we'll use this logging module to figure out our error and then fix it. Okay, for I in range n plus 1, total is equal to total times I. And then finally this will return the total. Okay, so if I come down here and then print factorial of, let's say, 5. So 5 factorial is 5 times 4 is 20, 20 times 3 is 60 times 2, 120 times 1, 120. So 5 factorial is 120. Let's run this. So I got 0. I know that 5 factorial is not 0, but how can I find the error and fix it? Okay, now let's use log message to find out what's going on in each step. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste this 2 lines, Command C, and then put it at the beginning here, Command V. And one thing I forgot to mention is we also need to reload the logging module by adding the statement reload logging. Okay, and then I have my message here. You don't need to know what exactly this means. It's just that it's the way how this basic config function is set up and works. Okay, so once I have that, I can start adding my log messages. Okay, so before the start of my function, I want to add a message. So logging that debug. So from the logging module, there's a debug function. So start of the program, and then after my function definition here, let me add another logging message. So logging that debug start of Factorial, then %s, %n, total is equal to 1. Then I have for I in range n plus 1, total is equal to total times 1. So I'm going to put another log message here. So logging that debug, I can say I is %s, comma, total is %s, and then outside I have I and total. Good. And before the return statement, I'll add another log message. So logging that debug return value is %s, percentage total. Good. Then I have my print function here. I'm calling my function print factorial 5. Okay, it says we have an error here. Oh, okay. I don't need the comma there. Let's run it again. Okay, great. Here I have a log of what's going on, right? So I have debug. So I have the timestamp and the date. Today's date is May 28th and timestamp 11/23. And I have this debug. So that's this part. Time, level, and message. You don't need to know, but there are 5 different levels. There's debug level, critical, warning, and so on. But you don't need to worry about that. This is what this means. And then start of the program. This is my first debug message. And then I have start of factorial 5. Then it says here debug I is 0, total is 0. And then I is 1, total is 1. So 1 factorial is giving me 0. And then 0 for each number. Right? Now when I is set to 1, we get 0. When I is set to 2, we get 0. That means we are multiplying each number by 0. Right? Now we know that there is something wrong with our range here. So we found that out by using our logging.debug. So now I can go. So now I can go and fix my range. If it's only one argument in the range, it starts from 0. So I can add 1 here so that it starts from 1. Now if I run it again, I get 120, right? Which is 5 factorial. So when I is 1, total is 1. When it's 2, 2 times 2 is 1, times 3, 6, times 4, and so on. And return value is 120. You see, by having this log, it helped me find out the error that occurred. So we can use logging.debug to go through each line of statement and find out what was going on. This is what we've been doing with the print statement, but unlike print statement, logging is much better because we have the timestamp here, the date, and also if we don't want this log statement, if we want to turn off all this log message, we can simply do it by calling what is known as the disable function. And once we call the disable function once, it will disable all the logging message. Whereas if we are using print statement, I have to go here and then uncomment the print statement. I have to go here and then delete the print statement. I have to go here and delete the print statement. And also, if you are using print statement, you might delete some statements that you actually need. For instance, we need this statement in the code, this print statement. So if I want to turn off this log message, I can simply go here. So before the start, I can say logging.disable, that's the function, disable. Then I pass in logging.critical. Okay. Now if I run it again, you see all the log message is gone. So this is very convenient while using this logging module versus the print statement. So I can easily comment and uncomment this line of code to remove or add log messages. Great. And one last thing I want to show you is we can also store our log message in a text file. We can do that by adding our text file in the basic config function here. So all we have to do is provide a file name. So file name is equal to, so some file name. Let me name mine my log file.txt. Okay, that's all we need to do. Now if I run this, you see the log is gone from here, and it will save it in this my log file.txt. This file is created in the same directory where I am at. So if I go here to my home and look for my log file.txt, here I have my log file.txt. My log file.txt. So it's created. Let me go and run. Import. Oh, this is disabled. So let me uncomment that. And run this. Go back to my log file text. And here is the log message. Since I ran it twice, I got 2 log messages. So if I go again and run it one more time, go back, and then reload this page. So I got another log file. And again, I can turn this off by enabling this. And I can also remove this file name. And the log will be displayed here on the screen. Great. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a better understanding of debugging and how you can log errors. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you at the next lecture.